Welcome to Crows Live. I am your host, Monique Vanderhayden. Tonight we're going to take you through everything that just unfolded down at Adelaide Oval. It was a disappointing 8-point loss for the Crows against the Richmond Tigers. Definitely not the finish that they were looking for, but we'll be heading down into the room shortly. We'll be hearing from the debutant himself, Billy Dowling, and Mitch Hinge as well. But to get started, we're going to take a look at some of the second half highlights.
To the side, Shelley. Keys, good hands, sharp hands to Laird. Umpire spotted a holding free kick. It is going Adelaide's way. And will it be Borlase to get another opportunity to kick his first AFL goal? It will. For a significant moment in any AFL player's career. He takes it this time. And they all come to James Borlase in celebration. Crows quickly out of the blocks in the second half of the contest.
James Borlase kicks his first goal in the big time. What a talented family. Dad Darryl was a legend with Port Adelaide here, a 4-time premiership player, captained them to a premiership.
And it was Noah Bolter's first mistake for the game, really. Just lost touch with him, and Fogarty comes over the top.
He's already kicked a couple. They will feel like they are right back in this now.
It'll end in the path of Ralph Smith. Great effort from Jones. Ralph Smith fights back. On the ball. He's going to take the advantage. Schomburg does that. It's exactly what they need to do. Here's a chance for the first gamer. Billy Dowling. Take a bow, Billy.
Well, the raps on the kid are that he works as hard as anyone. He knows the game plan inside and out, forever doing vision. And what a moment. Class finish under pressure.
So hang on.
Big moment for the kid. There's the family going absolutely berserk, and rightfully so.
Well, they may not have gotten the win, but there's not much better than watching a first gamer kick his first ever goal in AFL footy, and it was fantastic to see Billy Dowling's family there watching on. Fantastic celebrations there in the crowd. He was pick number 43 in the 2022 draft. People have been calling for him to make his debut for weeks after what was a fantastic SANFL performance during the 2022 season, and has been another great form this year as well. And he finally got his chance. Let's go hear from the debutant himself now.
Mate, first game out of the way. I guess a bit of mixed emotions now after that, though.
Yeah, obviously it's exciting to play first game, but disappointing with the result. And you know, we're right around the mark all day, and just a couple of moments let us down. So disappointing for the boys.
Talk us through the process of getting your Guernsey presented and running out for the first time. Was it sort of what you thought it would be? Yeah,
it's definitely an awesome experience. Obviously having the people that have helped me along my journey, my family and friends around, which was great for me. And the boys were obviously really good as a group. So we had the right energy coming to the game, and you know, it was all looking good before the game. And yeah, just obviously didn't come together.
How did you feel like you adjusted to the speed of the game? You looked comfortable out there?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. Obviously, you get pretty good leadership with all the boys around you, and you feel pretty comfortable, and you know, they sort of allow you to be ready as a player before coming in, which is always really important. So yeah, I felt I was able to, you know, make some sort of adjustment and feel good about my game. Yeah.
Nice to be able to kick a goal in your first game. That was a special moment, and your teammates be able to get around you.
Yeah, it was awesome. The boys obviously great getting around it, and it's always nice to knock over your first. But obviously, like I said, it was disappointing couldn't get the end result. So
you traded the goal all back for a win.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What's the key now in terms of just sticking together and recovering and reviewing next week?
Yeah, obviously regroup as a team, and you know, assess what went wrong and stuff like that. We obviously have the ability and all the talent to, you know, make a run and do something special as a group. So we'll assess, we'll go back, and you know, we'll come back stronger and bigger.
Fantastic goal from him, and he did say in there that he would have much rather have gotten the win, but either way it was a great performance from him on debut. We've had some fantastic questions been coming in on our text line throughout the game tonight. We've got one here from Michelle. How do you think Dowling went? I think he went fantastic. He had some pretty early touches in the game just to get himself comfortable with the footy. He did get a little bit quiet throughout the middle, but he definitely re-energised there in the final quarter as well. Fantastic for a first gamer. We hopefully get to see a bit more of him over the next few games. games. And Lily here on ball ace, looking handy up forward. Yeah, there's a few switches around, obviously a couple of injuries for the Crows this week. Tex Walker out, still missing Isaac Rankin down forward. So ball ace found himself wandering from defence to up forward, and obviously he had a couple of shots at goal, a few that probably didn't go the way that he would have hoped, but he did manage to slot a goal. I believe it was in the second quarter, so he got his first a goal in AFL footy as well. So a few first goalers today, so plenty of celebrations despite the loss either way. Graham here, what did you think of Rochelle's game? Obviously, Rochelle has been in the headlines over the past week. Interesting conversations around his role, a bit of confusion of where he felt that he belonged on the field. There's been conversations with him and Nix this week. But I think this game here today, he really did find himself. We saw him not probably playing as much in the midfield as he would have liked. He was expecting a bit more midfield time with Isaac Rankin's injury, but he managed to get a lot more of the ball up forward than what we've been seeing him in recent weeks. And even more importantly, he was able to capitalise when he was able to find the ball as well. And he had a very important moment at the beginning of the fourth quarter when he stood back and he slotted that set shot goal, which looked like it was going to propel the Crows to claw back and hopefully get that win. Obviously, it's not the way that it went in the end, but that goal definitely switched the momentum and a lot of weight on his shoulders there as well. Got a question here from Kyle. What did you make of Strawn's first game? And look, if I could have it this way, he may be a bit too old, but I think he definitely deserved a Rising Star nomination. It's not obviously going to go that way for the 27-year-old, but this is just his sixth game in AFL football. It's his first since 2022, and he was going up a very experienced ruckman, and he did a fantastic job, not only in the hit-outs itself, but also his ability to use his body around the ground was just fantastic. He was able to spoil, draw tackles and get a few frees, and he was able to dominate really in the ruck. Of course, sadly, he did end up having to get taken off at three-quarter time with a groin injury. Not too sure on what the outcome will be of that there, but definitely in doubt for for upcoming weeks. Alyssa here, did you know that Laird was the only Crow out there from the 2017 Grand Final? Yeah, let's look. Adelaide hasn't got the fondest memories when it comes to the Richmond Tigers, but Laird the only one out there from the 2017 Grand Final. I do think Richmond still had about 7 players that were out there from that game, so hopefully they weren't giving too much banter to Laird out there. I don't think we would have appreciated that. But we've got to head straight back down into the rooms now. We've got Mitch Hinge, who's been happy enough to speak with us tonight.
Initial reaction after that, I guess, mostly disappointment.
Yeah, just super disappointed. I think you know, we want to play a brand of footy that's, you know, strong and tough and gets it done at the end of the day. And at the moment, we're just not producing that, and it's, you know, we're gutted, and it is what it is. You're gonna have to move through it. But yeah, at the moment, we're pretty disappointed.
They seem to make their move in the third quarter, just after half time. What do you think that was down to?
Yeah, they did. They definitely came out, you know, with a purpose to be really strong in the contest, and that's probably where they got us. And you know, then we ended up playing a lot of it down our, you know, D50 side, and you one, you only can hold on so long, and two, we just also didn't get our contest done back there. And you know, for the back six especially, we've done probably a really good job this year at holding up, and unfortunately, we just, when the time came in the third quarter, we didn't do good enough, and yeah, it's really disappointing.
I guess the key now is to find a way to fight out of it together as a group.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's you know, it's times like this that are quite tough, and everyone's probably going through their own feelings and emotions, and yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's you've probably got to turn to each other, and the only way we're going to get through it is together. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but you know, we're going to have to look at each other in the eye and understand, you know, what the expectation is and what we want to do moving forward, and that's the only way through, really.
And just a word on Billy Dowling, came in and played his first game, kicked a goal. He looked pretty comfortable out there.
No, Billy was really, really good. I think, you know, he was obviously one of the pleasing parts of the night. You know, he's really strong, and his work rate, and his, you know, that's a testament to him. And it was really good being his teammate out there today. He kicked a nice goal too, which you know, the boys got around, and it puts a little bit of a smile on your face. And you know, along with other things, we're gutted we couldn't get the win for him as well.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Thank you.
Mitch saying there that they're just not playing the hard competitive football that they would like to be playing at the moment, and really the only way that they can go about fixing that is by turning to each other and seeing what they can do, and I'm sure that they'll be doing that this week. There'll be a lot of introspection happening to see how they can improve going on to next week. But let's take a look at some of the first half highlights now to see how things played out in that first half. So Nick's definitely said heading into this game that they wanted to have a faster start other than what we saw against the Hawks last weekend. Sadly, we didn't get that. The Richmond definitely gave the Crows a lot to think about during that first quarter. Their pressure was enormous. Every chase was just at 110%, and that was just forcing the Crows to make the mistakes that they really didn't want to be doing. Richmond was able to capitalise on that. Defensively, Richmond was pressing high. Crows were able to capitalise that on a few times where they were caught out. Fogarty hanging out the back down forward when we were able to get a kick over their head and get a couple of goals that way. But ultimately, that Richmond was really able to lock the ball in their forward half, which just made it really difficult for the Crows to get their run on. That is when Adelaide looked the most dangerous tonight, when they were able to switch that ball out wide. I believe this might be an example of it here, getting it straight out to Dawson, who just knew when to play quickly and play slowly. And obviously, he's just such a beautiful kick and lands it right in the hands there of Darcy Fogarty, who went back and slotted this goal. He has been in beautiful form at the moment. These last 4 or 5 weeks ago or so, we've really found him finding his place in the forward line. I would like to see him maybe use his body a little bit more against some of the bigger defenders. Noah Bolton was able to just outbody him a few times tonight, so it'd be great to see him just find his way to outbody those bigger players. But when he was in space, he was looking incredibly dangerous, and obviously he's a fantastic kick at goal. A question here from Reese on our text line of how do we beat Sydney next week? That's a great question, Reese. Obviously, Sydney's been in some fantastic form, but Sydney at home is here at Adelaide Oval has actually not got the best track record, so definitely don't go counting us out. I think hopefully by that then Isaac Rankin should hopefully be back in playing, so that will definitely be helping us up forward. Hopefully we'll have Tex Walker back by then as well, so Ball Ace will have to make his way back to defence. He might not want to, so we might have to drag him back down there, but definitely having some stronger bodies and obviously some more leadership from players like Tex Walker as well will definitely help. Definitely just such a young side that was out there tonight, and we do need to remember that these younger players have had so much expectation on them this season, and then especially in these last few games as well, to try and turn the season around and keep those finals hopes alive. And their ability to actually stay in this game after a 5-goal run from Richmond at one point was actually just really inspiring, only at that 8-point loss in the end. Another question here from Ruby: what went wrong in the third quarter? Just momentum. Richmond got the ball running, and Adelaide really did struggle to get them to stop them. As I did mention earlier, Adelaide was just not able to get their run on. They weren't able to get that ball moving forward. Richmond just had it locked down in their forward half, and Adelaide just really struggled to get it out. They were intercept marking was beautiful from Richmond tonight. Those big body defenders, as I was mentioning, that had put Fogarty in a lot of trouble. They were also able to just get that ball straight back down into their forward line repeatedly throughout the night. Another question here from Matt: and Dusty didn't even play. Funny enough, Richmond's 2 wins that they've had this season were actually without Dusty playing. So I don't know if that's a bit of a coincidence or not, but next week he's meant to come back to play his 300th game against the Hawthorn, so maybe all bets on Hawks next week. But that is just about all we have time for tonight here on Crows Live. Thanks for joining in. Obviously, we've got a bye coming up, but we'll be back to play at Sydney in a couple of weeks' time here at Adelaide Oval. Thanks for your company.
You there to see the sweat?
Were you there to hear the rise?
Were you there to taste the victory?
Were you there to feel the pride?
Together, we're stronger. Be there in 2024.